Looking across America, the hills and forests, the suburbs and cityscapes, in towns of every size, there's a word that continues to grow in the American consciousness, a word that means much more than just a color. It's the word green. For years, it's become synonymous with recycling, maybe driving a hybrid or biodiesel car, and caring for our environment by cleaning up our rivers and protecting our forests. Now, like never before, green has hit home and is beginning to make more and more sense to the average homeowner and even the business owner. We invite you to come and join us as we embark on a region called Southern Oregon, where folks have been taking to the green concept pretty seriously. Come take a tour with us of Oregon Green Homes, building, learning, and living. Some home shows will have all the bright lights and glamour. Well, today's tour is a bit more green. Most folks will take a school bus ride from place to place to conserve energy and learn lots at every stop along the way. On our Green and Solar Homes tour, we'll see everything from a beautiful and highly insulated straw bale constructed home with radiant floor heating to a passive active solar home designed and built by an ambitious architect for him and his wife to retire in. We'll learn about green terminology like solar electric, solar hot water, energy credits and refunds, and healthier indoor air. We'll even take some time to inspect some innovative green and Energy Star certified products that can help any homeowner. Tour with our host, Kim Lewis, an Ashland, Oregon resident and novice but eager learner of green living, and Don McCoy, a real estate professional with a passion for eco-friendly, healthier, sustainable living.
Kim, this is an Earth Advantage home built from the ground up by Gary Doris Construction in Phoenix, Oregon. And this home has special certification to it. And we're going to meet the builder today, and he's going to describe to us exactly what the meaning of this is.
All right, I like it. It's a craftsman style.
Hey guys.
Hey Gary.
How you doing?
Good.
Good. I want to introduce you to Kim. He's interested in your home.
Hey.
Nice to meet you. How you doing, Don?
Gary, you're an award-winning Earth Advantage contractor. The National Association of Home Builders gave you an honorable mention for building an energy-efficient Earth Advantage home in the Applegate.
That's correct. And one of the advantages of Earth Advantage program is you get an extra set of eyes watching over everything we do. Make sure everything's energy efficient, it's insulated correctly. We make sure the heating system works correctly and our framing is correct. And they actually do a blower test at the end to make sure there's no leaks in the house and make sure all the ductwork's working correctly.
So Don, let's say I decide I want to build an energy efficient home from scratch, like this home. If I want my contractor to follow the guidelines that are going to do what needs to be done to meet the requirements so I can get my rebates, this is the guy that's going to help me do that?
That's right. This is Fred Gant, Kim.
Hey Fred, how you doing?
Yeah, good. What we do is a third-party verification, and our program really gives builders the recognition they deserve for meeting all the energy-efficient features and green features.
What is energy features versus green features?
Well, green features go above and beyond energy features. Things like sustainable products, products that we have been determined to have be long life, low damage to the environment, that type of thing. And so we test for, say, low VOC paints, for healthy indoor air. Those are green type features. This particular heating system has a fresh air intake and stale air exhaust. And I inspect that system to make sure it's running properly.
Is this a service that you charge a fee for, or is this provided by
This is a service we charge a fee for. The builder voluntarily signs up, they become an Earth Advantage builder, and they pay a certification fee. And at that time, we sort of line them up with potential incentives, and tax credits are available also, which go to offset our certification fee.
I like Earth Advantage. It makes a lot of sense.
Well, thanks a lot.
So wow, here we are in an attic What's so unique about this space?
Well, what you're seeing here, I believe, is the future of building. These are called structured insulated panels, or we call them SIPs. You have a sheet of OSB with 9.5 inches of foam sandwiched between two OSB sheets. And that allows no heat transfer. And so it keeps all of the warm air in here, all of the cold air out, and vice versa. You know, I mean, it's just going to keep this the temperature of the room, living area. And they go on very quickly, so you have lots of labor saving. And as you can see, it's about the same temperature as the house is up here right now.
This attic doesn't have any rafters. How can that be? How can you hold up the roof without rafters?
Well, that's why these are called structured insulated panels, or SIPs. They've been engineered so when they put these together, they're structural. They will hold the building together. And sometimes we use it on walls as well. And they're actually better, like if a tree falls on it, these are more rigid than just your traditional framed walls.
Amazing. And they're how thick?
9.5 inches,
Uh-huh.
and that gives you an R40 value.
Remarkable. So where, Don, are we now?
We are at the home of Jeff Golden. I'm excited about showing you this home because it was designed specifically for passive solar heat gain. It has radiant floor heating, and it also has solar hot water and electricity, and it supplements his system. This home is special.
Well, I've been working on and advocating renewable energy for years and years and years, so I thought when I built my own house it might be a nice thing to walk the talk. And when I built the house in 2001, I put solar hot water in, and I also decided the heat system should be a radiant heat floor, heated partly by solar power, and the backup is natural gas. You know, we all have to adjust if we're going to walk our talk at all about leaving a decent world to our kids and grandkids. And when you live in an area like this, going solar, if you're going into the investment of a house at all, is a relatively easy way to do it.
Jeff, I understand your home was specifically designed for passive solar. Could you explain the significance of that?
Well, some of it's pretty simple. If you have a southern exposure, which I did, and I picked my site for that, but you have as much glass as you can in your southern wall, well insulated. And then I used concrete floors, radiant heat floors, which have, they're sort of a twofer. They're a heat sump that absorb the sunlight, especially in the winter, and can give off some warmth. But it's also the home's heating system. So the hot water that's part of my normal plumbing circulates through tubing through the concrete floors and warms the concrete, and there's a radiant rising of the heat all the time instead of trying to force heat where it doesn't want to go. So to heat the house, the solar hot water and natural gas work together, and I can show you how that works.
Let's go see it.
This is the mudroom where it all happens, and it's really a preheat solar system because you've got a industrial-sized natural gas water heater here that supplies both domestic hot water and the water that goes into the flooring to heat the whole house. But before the water gets there, it travels from the roof where it's heated by the sun into a preheat tank. And during sunny weather, the hot water goes from the solar tank to the natural gas tank, doesn't demand any natural gas and provides the needs. If it's overcast, the water will still be heated on the roof some, raised in temperature before it gets to the natural gas tank and demand less natural gas than it would otherwise.
This definitely supplements your system.
Yeah.
Eric, you're the contractor that installed this for Jeff. Could you explain to us how the system works?
Yeah, my boss and I designed a system that utilized the space that Jeff has that's south-facing for the photovoltaic system, and we were able to put 14 modules up there, and down here in the control room we have an inverter and a safety disconnect, and it's really simple. We have 14 modules racked up on this roof. They're all in series. They come down in high voltage to feed this inverter. There's DC electricity going in and AC electricity going out with the safety switch. The output of this inverter is connected to the utility grid, and it's as simple as that. Here on the inverter itself, we can see how much power Jeff is making. Right now he's making about 1100 watts, And there's virtually no maintenance, aside from making sure that the inverter is working and the panels aren't dirty. That's it. It's very simple.
So Don, what are some of the unique features of this home, the Fisher-Smith solar application?
Well, Kim, this particular home was built and designed to face south. The windows are capturing the sun's passive heat and collecting it on the cement floors, thus radiating in the evening. And the solar panels, of course, are facing south as well. We're going to see an exceptionally well-designed home in our green market today.
I like it.
You're dealing with a very low, what's called a TD, a temperature differential, between the space downstairs and this floor. This floor will heat to 70 degrees or 71 degrees when it's at its hottest. The space downstairs is maybe 65, so there's a temperature differential of 5 degrees. So the heat doesn't want to get away very fast. So it's, I think, R10. And also we considered a wood floor, but the builder was terrified of not wanting to nail through those pipes. And so the builder was not encouraging us to have a wood floor. Yeah.
Next on our tour, we'll travel up into the Siskiyou mountain foothills of southern Oregon, near Talent. This green custom home, amazingly enough, was built using bales of straw, one of green building's most energy-efficient raw materials. It's a building method used by Europeans for centuries, and even by American pioneers.
Kim, this is the home of Bob and Chris Gale. This is a fascinating house.
Great.
Hi, Bob.
Yes.
Don McCoy. This is
Don.
Kim.
Glad to meet you, Kim.
Hey.
Good to meet
See
you.
ya.
Come on in.
So Chris, I just sat on a straw bale, is that correct?
That's correct. That's the last bale that went in the house.
Amazing. And how many bales of straw went into building this house? It's a 2,000 square foot house?
2,000 square foot house, yeah. And somewhere between 500 and 600 bales of straw. Yeah.
That's a lot of straw hauling.
Yeah, yeah.
Where did you go to get the straw for this? I mean, is this, you call your contractor and say, give me some straw, I need to build a house?
Our contractor ordered the straw from a fellow that he knows grows top quality straw for the house.
Interesting. Eastern Oregon, I understood.
Eastern Oregon.
Very nice.
The requirements are 2 for a straw bale in a house. That it be a tight bale and that it be a dry bale. And Pearson had experience with providing straw for bale construction, and that's what we have.
And why does a person use straw over conventional insulation? Is this just kind of a fad, or is this reality? Does it really help?
Well, it gives you this. These are what are called 3-string bales, so they're 24 inches thick, and you end up with an R factor of about 53.
So that means that straw bale houses are about twice as energy efficient than your conventional house.
Yes, for the walls. And then for the ceiling, because we had such a high R factor for the walls, we exceeded building code and blew R50 in the ceiling as well.
Well, I like the aesthetics of the deeper window. This is the way that they used to build homes in Europe, and the old way of building homes, and it just gives it a more depth and more hominess to the house. And the plaster on the walls is wonderful. We had a fellow come in here from the Mideast, and he almost started crying. He got very emotional about reconnecting with the history of his house, where he came from, and the archways.
Interesting.
We did some cutouts in the straw and had a couple of young painters do a montage of Italy. Part of what we did in construction of the house is use recycled materials as much as we could. That includes this old beam, which came out of another house somewhere, and we just left it rough because we wanted the old world look.
This is Boss and my bedroom and master bedroom. And the windows in here are from Edinburgh, Scotland, which is my heritage. The rest of the house is pretty much Italian, which is Bob's heritage. And the walls, I wanted to have different shaped bedroom, no squareness to it, so the walls are all angular in here.
So here's the master bathroom and a walk-in shower. We experienced something like this in Mexico when we were visiting for 2 weeks, and down here thought this is something we'd like to have. So we have a rain shower head here.
That looks like rain.
It feels like rain.
It feels like rain, and the surprising part about it is that it fills the water conservation needs.
Yeah.
It has a restrictor in there, so even though it seems like you're pulling a lot of water, you're not.
Chris, I understand the location of the bathroom is for a specific purpose.
Yes, it's a south-facing bathroom, and it was designed because all the plants are in here, and the shower and the wash machine dryer and an indoor clothesline. So it's here to, so we don't get mold in the rest of the house. It dries the fastest here.
You know, Bob and Chris Gale's straw bale house really is magnificent, but I want to understand how this straw bale construction works better.
I'd like you to meet Seth, Manzanita Construction.
Hey Seth.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Hey.
You know something about this straw bale construction?
Yeah, this is your raw material that you'd use for straw bale construction.
And you built these houses?
Yes, yep. And they're basically a post and beam constructed home, so they're not, you know, regular stick frame built homes. Saves on lumber, and then you do what they call straw infill, and you stack these bales, kind of like you'd stack Legos on top, and then you fill in, you know, your walls, and you stucco both sides, and you got, you know, a solid wall.
But no need for drywall or anything?
No need for drywall or anything.
Wow.
Interior, you may want to, depends on which route you want to take. I prefer stucco.
You have that option, right?
Yep, you have that option. The R value is really high, which means the insulated value, it's between 35 and 50, which is extremely good.
Excellent.
And this is a byproduct of the wheat industry or alfalfa or rye. After they take the grain off of it, this is what's left over. They don't use it for much, besides maybe bedding for animals.
Oh yeah, I always wondered what you'd use straw for.
Yeah.
You can use it to build a home.
Yes, you can. And it's that's what makes it a great material for building homes, is because it is something that's not very much used.
Ryland and Tasha Hireman's home in Ashland is one of our stops where another innovative and highly efficient wall construction is used. It's called Insulated Concrete Forms, or ICFs.
Less insurance, mortgage rates are better, they allow you more money because you're building a structure that has an estimated lifespan of a couple hundred years versus 30, 40, 50 years.
So Ryland, these insulated concrete forms that I see here are in those fine walls?
They're hidden well, but true. The only way you can really tell that you're looking at an ICF home is by the thickness of the walls and thickness of windows. So you look through here, and this house as well, you've got about a foot thick wall showing, because you're talking 6 inches of concrete, over a little 2.5 inches of foam. What is it?
2 5/8 on each side.
Okay, and then from there you do your siding right to that. You have on the inside you do your sheetrock straight to it, and on the outside you do your siding straight to it. There are built-in nailers right here, that high density hard plastic nailers that serve as the studs that you screw into. So you end up with, you know, the net effect, the net look would be the same as a stick-built home. It's just you aren't using the wood, and you end up with a thicker, tighter, more sealed and more efficient.
Usually what you save is about 70%, 60% on energy costs. Heating systems are downsized because of the energy efficiency. So they're usually about half the size of a normal square footage in a stick-built house. And what will happen is that energy savings will come back to you, and what you pay over the cost of building a stick-built house to an ICF house, that will come back to you within 3 or 4 years on average.
We experienced that, so we spent a lot less on our heating system. We do not have an AC system. We do not have a forced air system. It's all radiant heated floor. The concrete itself and the floor is heated off of our hot water heater. So we used one high efficiency hot water heater, and that runs the heat through the floors and upstairs, and basically it all is contained within the mass of the concrete forms. So we, ended up spending at least half of what we would have spent for conventional, and I know our bills are lower, so it's been a win-win.
The Green and Solar Home Tour is an opportunity for people to share their experiences implementing measures which make their homes more energy efficient and more sustainable. They're demonstrating basically a contract with the future. Sustainability is making use of resources today that don't deplete our ability to make use of those resources in the future. What sustainability is practicing the golden rule with the future, basically, with future generations. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, let's do that with our future generations. What we're going to take a look at is practices that people have used today, which are more sustainable than is typical in today's construction. That doesn't mean that at some point in the future we're going to find other technologies to implement that will be even more sustainable. So the Ashland Conservation Division also works with existing buildings. And Dawn, you live in a house that was built in the 80s. I understand that you've upgraded your HVAC system to a more efficient heat pump, but have you had your ducts tested? No? Well, one of the things that the city does is bring in a device which tells how leaky your ducts are. And if they leak to the outside, all that air that you've paid to condition is basically not getting inside your house, but conditioning your attic or your crawl space. So we have a program that we could come out and help you rectify that. So if you live in the city of Ashland, those duct testing services are free to you if you heat with electricity. We do charge customers who heat with gas a fee for those tests.
One of the great features of Energy Star and Earth Advantage green building homes is that they do sealed and tested duct systems. The ducts are the pipes that go from your furnace and bring the hot and cold air into your home. So you'll see here that the Energy Trust has done several studies, and they've found that ductwork installed to code leaks 20 to 40%. Huh. Now you imagine spending all this money on your home, putting in really high efficient windows and insulation, and then putting your ducts underneath the insulation and blowing your conditioned air into your crawl space. Huh. What we do is we seal and test those ducts so that they leak less than 6%. Sometimes we get them down to 3%.
And different cities will come out and even test that, like the city of Ashland.
That's correct. Right. Yep. And this is the kind of testing that we do. We do an actual pressure test on the ducts so that we know that it's airtight. And then we pressure test the house as well, so we know how much the house leaks to the outside.
Oh, wow. So you go around all over Jackson County and you can do this?
Yes. Right. So the second part of the energy efficiency of these systems is the equipment. So once your ductwork is done correctly, you want to make sure that you have the correct furnace. Now we like to use variable speed air handlers and furnaces. And what variable speed does is that it ramps up and down with whatever you need instead of just being one single speed. What you get out of that is that it's quieter, it's more comfortable, and it uses less energy to do it. The second part of that is your outdoor unit. Now, your outdoor unit will either be an air conditioner or a heat pump. But you'll see here that there are 5 different series of units. Now we do an energy analysis on every home to pick out the most cost-efficient versus energy-efficient unit. And what we have found that in most cases, this 16 SEER type unit is the one that works for this area for our weather patterns. SEER means Seasonal Energy Efficiency Rating. It's kind of like miles per gallon for a heat pump.
That's right, and it doesn't run on fuel that costs $3.09 a gallon.
That's right. We take the best match heat pump with the best match indoor unit, put them together, and we meet the ratings for Energy Star, Earth Advantage, and those green programs.
Roy, I understand out of all the building features that go into homes, windows can account for either the most energy loss or the most energy savings.
Absolutely, Don. As you know, the building code in Oregon requires that we provide windows that are 35% more energy efficient than those they can use in California. What we do is we try to provide customers with windows that are even more energy efficient than is required for no additional cost. So just about every window we sell is Energy Star compliant. A window like this one is actually up to 23% more energy efficient than Energy Star for just a couple of pennies more. Rebates, tax credits, they pay for this.
That's the thing about green building, is a lot of folks have the impression that it costs so much more money than it actually does. Is that true?
You can be as green as you want to be for the same amount of money that somebody else would just meet code. You can be better. If you want to be even greener, but the sky's the limit.
Our tour today wraps up at a Solar and Green Show in Phoenix, Oregon, where enthusiastic vendors and interested consumers have come to learn and plan ways to build green into their lifestyles.
So Chris, here we are in Phoenix, Oregon, beautiful southern Oregon, on a beautiful day at Phoenix Organics. I've never noticed this place. What's going on here?
Well, what we do here, Don, is we sell biodiesel. We have an organic farm and garden center, and we also have a green building supply for contractors and homeowners. And yeah, we try to create healthy lifestyles here. We give people with conscious lifestyles a choice and a place to shop.
Right, and who's responsible for this?
Oh, Israel's came up with this idea.
And how long ago, Israel?
About 5 years ago. You know, we just wanted to have a place where people can come to and see that we don't have to live this regular conventional lifestyle that we have offered to us in society, you know. There's other ways to get involved in our community and also help out, you know. Buy sustainable flooring, for example, you know, help the florists out, you know, make sure that sustainable practices are happening in our community and just around us, you know, because in the future, if those things aren't really looked upon, you know, with great eye, we're not going to have a forest. We're not going to have a good ecosystem or a good place to go hiking or go fishing or, you know, just a good habitat. So we want to make an impact on everything that we purchase, you know. It's more of an economical way of making a difference, you know.
Gina Franzosa, you're a civil engineer by background, and now you're into green building. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. Yes, I started my career as a civil engineer, working on stormwater management for development projects, and seeing that their sustainability needed to be more incorporated into the way that we build buildings and develop sites. And so I heard about the work that the Green Building Council is doing, integrating various design professionals to make buildings happen and make development happen, and I decided to get involved.
And you're the director of Cascadia for the entire state of Oregon.
That's right. I'm responsible for the education, outreach, and advocacy work that we do across the state of Oregon. And Cascadia operates in Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia.
Very good.
Big region.
It is, yeah, but it's the Cascadia bioregion, and so there's a lot of reasons, natural reasons for us to collaborate across geopolitical boundaries.
We hope your tour with host Kim Lewis of Ashland, Oregon, a student of green living, and Don McCoy, our eco-broker and authority for Southern Oregon, has inspired you to catch the green vision. For more information or to order a DVD of this program, call 773-8200 or contact us online at OregonGreenHomes.net or by visiting any of these green building supportive sponsors.